Look at Sam thinking about this. Sam's over here just kind of like, when he gets to thinking, he's quiet.
Well,
and it's a scary thing.
It's the same discussion that we've had all year.
But now that we're really, I mean, they've released this. This is out. They're going to do something to combine them. They're trying to make this deal grow. And
this
is time.
This track is. Cottage Grove isn't doing anything. Banks isn't doing anything.
Right.
Willamette's trying to do something.
Right. Because there's no IMCA stock cars anywhere else. I mean, they're coming to Willamette.
So
the biggest thing, I don't care what you do, what rules you change to make these guys a little more competitive, to give everybody a fair shot to win. Doesn't matter what you do. The only answer is time. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Time is what is going to. Time is what's going to, and I don't even want to use the word save because that's not fair to the IMCA stock car. But grow,
yeah.
But again, that my concern comes in. Do you thin your street stocks too much? Is there enough guys that make the jump out of street stocks, or is there going to be enough guys jumping out of other divisions? We've already seen one guy we can guarantee got rid of his late model to go run an IMCA stock car. How many? I mean, that's the thing. When you get a good class like that, that affects everything else around him in a sense, because you're going to have guys that are going to put away one car or sell one car to go race another.
Or you're going to see guys pull double duty.
Right.
You won't know anything until next year when those gates open. And
you're right when you say that. But right now, what do you do? What do you do?
Exactly what's being done.
And I think so far, given what we saw, with what we just received a couple hours ago, talking about these rule packages, I don't think that's too bad.
It could have went way worse.
Because, they say no spoiler. They say that's irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. That spoiler on those cars isn't going to make – it's not going to put you in victory lane. Mm-mm. You take those spoilers off, that's not going to be the one thing that says, oh, that guy won because they made him take his spoiler off. That's okay. You're keeping people happy. I get it. On paper, it evens things out. Not going to make a bit of difference.
9 times out of 10, it's who's behind the wheel that's the difference.
There you go.
Put whatever package you want on it. Either race and go for it, or don't. Like, sit at home and cry, or go beat them.
I just talk about going racing and don't.
Well, you're busy with other stuff, like helping me with cameras.
Yeah.
Ooh, announcing.
Yeah.
Kind of a jack
I think
of all
I'm putting
trades.
that whole thing on the back burner myself.
Yeah.
Not announcing.
No,
the
I know.
Race
I know
car.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
There's effort being made.
There is.
People are going to complain about it, and people aren't going to complain about it, and it doesn't really matter, because all that really matters is either you're in that seat putting on a show or you're not in that seat putting on a show. It's really your choice.
I got to be. If I was in that position and I built a stock car.
All right, what position are we talking about?
I'm talking. I have a stock car.
Okay, and IMCA.
I just built one. Crap, there's not enough guys to run with, so I'll run with the street stocks.
Right.
And you know what? If it just seems that unfair, so I'll try a couple things. Quite honestly, you have to be prepared for the class not to be a breakout, 50-car show. It's just not going to happen the first year.
It's not going to happen.
So going into this, you should know this is not going to be a full field of cars.
Right.
And it's not like, oh my gosh, you should have to compromise, but you should know that. And if you want to go race, I don't know about you, I want to race. So
absolutely, and that's what these guys are going to do. I think from what I've seen, there's been a lot of discussion. We've seen all this stuff. We've heard all the, if you want to call them rumors or theories or what they're going to do. How do you do this? So far, from what we've seen, the standard length rear bars. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Not a big deal. Then we'll be checked. IMCA cars must run an IMCA package. All other metric cars, which we're going to call current street stocks, a crate 602 must weigh 3,100 pounds with no spoiler. Spoiler rule, I couldn't care less about. That's not going to make a difference.
I think that IMCA put it in, yeah.
Right. And I can see why it's there.
We had the sport mod.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I can see why it's there. It's not going to make a difference. Not on those cars. The weight will be the biggest factor that levels the playing field on these cars. Okay. 3,100 pounds with a 602, no spoiler. Open motors, 3,300 pounds. And if your motor is set back, you have to add the 50 pounds in front of the midplate. That right there is the one rule I think is the biggest factor, adding that 50 pounds ahead of the midplate. 50 pounds is 50 pounds, but when they're telling
when
you
you put it up front and not
right,
center and back.
Right,
you know,
exactly. That is the one.
That changes everything.
Yes,
well, it changes
of those
handling.
rules, that's the one that's going to
Yeah.
matter the most.
Yeah.
Okay. The rule with the spoiler, yeah. Car count is fine. I think you'll see more metrics naturally. The aftermarket options are too available for folks and not to get them, or too available for folks
Not to
get them. When you have full B mains, do stock. When you have full B mains, do stock cars and see who goes. Until then, run street stocks and pay more. What we are going to do is what Schramm wants to do. He's the owner. My plan is to wait for him to do what he will do. And that's what we're talking about right here. This is what they're going to do. Okay? That's the new plan. My plan is to wait. Okay. I also support the Iron Giant. The races are way cool, and they have helped build car count. Without a doubt, 100% true. Andrew Langen said that.
Nice.
Okay. So waiting to see what Schramm is going to do. Those right there, what we just read, that is what they're going to do. So everybody out there that runs those cars that are listening, now you know. Now that just came out a matter of hours ago. What it's 7:55 now. We received that information at about 3:00. I'll tell you, it was exactly 3:00. So that's what it is. That's what they're going to do. And I think it's all right. I think it'll work. You know,
We're going to find out.
Well, we're going to find out. And honestly, those cars aren't so different that it's going to be such a drastic change.
It's not like you're racing a modified against a street stock. They're very similar.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be like racing sport mods and mods. I hate to say it. It's pretty close to that.
And all
on
the
paper.
street stock
On paper.
guys-
Yeah.
And
I mean,
honestly,
time-wise.
Yeah.
right now, none of the street stock guys even care about that because they got Saturday. They got to win $2,000. So
Right. They're going to go to the Wallbanger and race $2,026.
they'll worry about that next week.
It's all secondary at this point. You're right.
Yeah.
I get it. So, all in all, I still think, I do think the IMCA stock car deal next year will be a great example of this, if it's going to fly or not.
Yeah.
It's either going to be, there's going to be 12-15, or it's going to be, you know what, we're going to change our rules and run street stock.
Yeah.
I think because, you give what we have now, the rest of the season, over the course of the winter, well, I think that's plenty of time to kind of figure out what's going to happen.
Sure.
I wish the best for both fields. I don't want the street stocks to shrink. I do want the stock cars to grow. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Both those classes are great classes. They're phenomenal. I don't want to see one hurt the other.
I don't see that happening. I mean, it could, but I
could.
highly doubt it.
It easily could. I don't know. I don't know. At this point on this subject, I mean, I like what they're doing here. I do like the information we received. I think it's pretty close. I think it'll be enough to keep everybody happy and still go racing and get a feel for what's going to happen. I want to move on.
Thank God.
I want to move on to what we are.
That was rude.
I know, but I don't really want to talk about this next topic either, so it's fine.
Well, we're going to. And we wouldn't if it wasn't such.
It was a late model thing that he read, and now we have to talk
No,
about
it's
it.
not just something that I read. This has been a problem.
Yeah.
This has been a problem, not just.
It's only a problem if you get caught.
Well, and that's they're getting caught.
Well,
This is the thing. Here's what.
I don't trust labs.
And I understand that. That's why we're going to talk about this. Okay? What I need to do is, Dom, can you do me a favor since you're closest? Can you run over to the sales desk and grab the big yellow paper? Because I've got some information on there I want to discuss. Because I spent some time on the phone today with the COO of the World Racing Group, okay? Tom Deery.
And what do they do?
They are basically the sanctioning body for the World of Outlaws and Dirt Car, okay?
I did not know that till I asked you that earlier today, so In case there's some listeners out there that didn't know.
Right, I get it. So Tom Deery is a very important individual when it comes to dirt track racing. Okay.
Well, for that series.
These are national sanctioned series. We're talking about the World of Outlaws, both late models and sprint cars, and the dirt car body. Okay.
Classes that really don't mean much.
Here's a guy that great guy to talk to. Spent quite a bit of time on the phone with him today.
Who did the majority of the talking, you or him?
It was pretty even. He was open, but when it came to discussing certain things, he says, you know what? He says, you call the manufacturers on that. I'm not going to support those devils. I'm not, and this is the word that he used. He was stern about this. He's frustrated, okay? So I called him specifically to talk about tire doping. This has been a problem, not just on the local level.
Soaking your
But,
tires,
yeah.
tire doping.
Call it what you want, and we're going to talk about it. You can call it conditioning them. You can call it improving them.
I can call it saving
You
them.
can call it treatment. You can call it doping.
Saving.
Whatever you want. And that's. I'm glad you said that. We're going to talk about that because looking at this subject, okay, when you look at this subject, you start getting deep into it. There are. I even talked to a driver, very, very recognized national name. I'm not going to put on the air. But he said, okay, this is a direct quote. Let's start it off right here, just to kind of give you an idea of why we're talking about this. Okay, first of all, we know Bobby Pierce was caught last week at the Dream. Cost him over $28,000. Okay? This is really what made me get into this deal was because, okay, Bobby Pierce, we know how good he is. We know he's one of the elite drivers in the country, national level, at the Dream, at Eldora. First and foremost, you know that when you go to Eldora, I don't care what sanctioning body you're running, your tires have a really, really good shot at being tested and sent to the lab. I mean, they're going to take samples and send them to the lab, okay? What I thought was odd was he finished fourth. I thought, why did the fourth place car have his tires tested?
Because he's a World of Outlaw driver and they pick on those guys.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
They're not picking on him.
Yeah, they are.
Here's what they do. No, he was not. This didn't come on the night of the Dream, the big race. These tires, this was on a preliminary night.
I know.
Okay? So, they get together as a body, and they say, okay, here's what we're going to do.
We're going to pick on these guys.
We're going to take samples off Fast Qualifier. We're going to take samples off of these finishing place, whatever finishers they select. Okay? I will tell you, according to Tom Deery, Fast Qualifier is 99.9% of the time they're tested. They're going to take samples off the Fast Qualifier. So if you've got fast time and your tires are illegal, you're going to be exposed. Okay? This is so when I saw that fourth place, I thought, fourth place, I can see doing the top three. Then I thought, well, they had to do the top five. Okay, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. They get together prior and they say, okay, we're going to do this. And whoever finishes here, 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 and here, or if they've got reasons to suspect, okay? He was, unfortunately, in one of those spots. Their argument was, well, we must have ran over something. We must have picked something up on the track that affected. Well,
yeah, because everybody's doping their tires. It's on the racing surface.
That's not going to happen, though, because to dope those tires...
Prove that it can't.
No, and absolutely not. That argument is so asinine, I'm not even going to go there.
Because you can't prove that it didn't happen.
You can prove that. So that's just
spilled my Mountain Dew and got someone else's tire.
Absolutely ridiculous.
He hates it when I argue with him. It's not ridiculous.
It is.
No. You're basically saying he's a cheater, and he knows he's a cheater when he already was on Facebook and said, I'm not a cheater.
Are you going to go out and say, oh, we didn't dope our tires? We're at the Dream. We didn't dope our tires.
If I cheated and got caught, I'd own it.
You're one of the very few people that would.
Well, probably, but that's fine.
Because I don't know anybody that just got fined $28,000 and say, yeah, we're running illegal tires. Nobody is going to admit to that.
Yeah, I just said I would.
And then to use the excuse, oh, we must have ran over something on the racetrack.
You don't know that it's not out there.
Oh, my God, that is unbelievable.
What was in the water truck?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
He hates it when I do this to him.
So, okay, let's get back on track.
Water truck.